You know, that intro just doesn't feel right for tonight's show. So I'm gonna do an extra special intro for this show. So here we go. Here's a better intro.
Love, exciting and new. Come aboard. We're expecting you and love. Life's sweetest reward. Let it flow. It floats back to you. Love.
The Love Boat, you guys.
I
The
love
Love Boat. We'll get copyrighted for that, but I really don't care.
it.
I couldn't resist. I could not resist. But hey, welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of the DCL Duo podcast, brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel and the great folks over at DCL Magazine. We are going to have their float out issue here later this month. So if you want to get notice of the fabulous new DCL Magazine coming soon, head over to dcl-magazine.com to sign up for their wait list. And you'll get notice when they put their float out issue out for subscription. You can buy a copy of that, read a fabulous article from us in it, and get a lot of great high quality photos, high quality articles. It's going to be great. So head over to dcl-magazine.com while you're there. Show them some love. Grab something out of the WDW Magazine store and use code DCL Duo, all caps, DCL Duo, for 10% off anything over there. But we're here to talk about the Love Boat, baby.
and
The Love Boat.
romance.
Yeah, the Love
Yeah.
Boat. Yeah, we got our friend Tinfoil Mouse here. CT, welcome back, man.
Hey, thanks so much. It's so great being on the show. Man, you guys have had some just absolute great episodes, both on the vlog side and on the podcast side. So thanks for all the work you guys put into it.
Aw, thanks.
It's very
What's
sweet.
your favorite recent one that we've done?
Ooh, I'm halfway through the young lady who brought her father on
Oh,
a
yeah.
10 years
yeah.
cruise out of
Yeah.
Southampton.
Laura.
And to
yeah.
be and that one speaks to me a little bit because I'm thinking a lot about, how do I get my mom on another cruise? So
Yeah.
kind of hearing that one and hearing some ideas. But I'll tell you, a lot of these things that we're going to talk about tonight, they're things you get from listening to shows like that. A lot of these are things I picked up from either here or, or a friend that told me a story. So like talking about cruising, getting together and just, loving on DCL, that's a great way to get some of these great tips. So we're already doing the right thing.
Love that. Love that. Yeah, I definitely think hearing what other people do. I mean, I have heard, I feel like, some great stories on the family cruising side of like how to surprise kids with the Disney cruise,
Mm.
which we have never done to with our Nathan because I don't know that that kind of surprise would work well for him. But I do think that there are plenty of tips and tricks for families and for couples. And I love that we're going to do an episode today about bringing a little romance to a Disney cruise because I think most people think of Disney Cruise Line cruises as being a family experience. I want to be clear. Families come in all shapes and sizes. And so a family can be a couple. That is a family unit. But I think most people think of, Disney cruising with kids. So we're going to talk tonight about cruising. You might not only be sailing with adults, but special things to do for your partner on a Disney cruise. And let's remind folks, CT, remind folks of your Disney Cruise Line credentials. Obviously, you're writing for our blog, your Tinfoil Mouse ears all over social media now, but tell folks your cruising background.
We're 8 cruises in since 2014 was our first one, and then obviously with COVID, it had to take a little bit of a break, but we're back at it again. Unfortunately, I'm trying to figure out the next cruise, but we're missing your guys' ABD window, but I think that's our next cruise. So
And I'm still so sad about this.
you know what? We're
I
gonna
was-
find one soon, Brian. We really are. I'm
uh,
I'm on it now. Like we're
uh,
gonna find one soon. So
Yeah.
it
got
just
you.
the timing just doesn't work out. But it does work out for some things I have planned, and we'll tease some of that tonight. So
Ooh,
Nice.
love that. Well, for those who haven't heard, if you didn't listen to our episodes that we did late last week, and if you're not in our Facebook group, then you might not know this already, but we are now booked, meaning the DCL duo plus Nathan. We are booked on an Adventures by Disney river cruise. It's going to be our podcast cruise version 2.0. We are going in July 4th, 2026. We're going to be going Adventures by Disney to Holland and Belgium. It starts and ends in Amsterdam. It's going to be a fantastic week long, or actually it's eight days, I think, 7 nights, something like that.
It's a 7-night river cruise.
Yeah, 7-night
which means
river
it's
cruise.
eight days, including embark and disembark. But yeah, it's a
Right.
7-night sailing. Now we're just trying to decide: do we go straight to Amsterdam? Do we stop in London? Do we go to Paris? Do we try to hit up Disneyland Paris? We just don't. We don't know. We don't know what to do. So send us some suggestions and ideas our way.
if you stop in London, my money's on afternoon tea at Fortnum and
Well,
Mason.
That's
Is another really good
definitely.
idea I got from this show. So.
that is
I'm-
not even a question,
I
CT.
am definitely on the go to London train after the cruise, so we can fly home from Heathrow. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see where Sam lands. I've put the decision in her capable hands as to what we do, and then I will execute her vision.
Tracy's already jumping in the chat to
Yep,
say, let's
she's
hit
voting for
Disneyland Paris.
You know
Please
those
and
shirts that
thank
say
you.
most expensive day ever? It would be literal for that trip to Disneyland because I think we'd have 1 day there. But yeah. I actually want to, before we dive into the topic, I just want to bring up, Tracy said that I should have changed the names on the opening credits of the Love Boat, which makes me want to ask, like, so who would you be in the Love Boat? Who would you be in the Love Boat? I don't even know if Sam is old enough to have ever watched an episode of the Love Boat.
I'm gonna be honest. I know like the song, and I know I definitely have like caught moments of it in reruns, but I don't think I actually ever watched an episode.
So you're young enough to, so you'll have to be Vicky Steubing, Captain Steubing's daughter, on board. And CT and I will probably have to fight over Gopher, I have a feeling.
No, I'm the bartender matchmaking.
Oh, I love that. I love that
Oh,
for
nice.
you.
People make
Yeah.
matches, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Isaac Washington. Yes. Yeah, there you go. All right. Let's dive in. CT has predictably and quite helpfully brought a slide deck with him, and so I'm going to put that up now. There it is. And this is just fantastic every time I see it. I'm going to see if I can put it into present and
By the
window mode.
way, I gotta
Or if you could at
put
least
a
hide
shout
the
out.
preview slide.
I gotta put a shout out for this artwork that Brian did for the episode. CT mentioned online, like Brian does incredible like thumbnails for every single one of these live episodes. He does great thumbnails for our recorded episodes as well, but this one is just really cool. If you notice behind the words Love Boat, there's like a rose. It's like there's always artwork, like it's artwork upon artwork, and Brian just does a cool job of layering it all. So oh, Kelly's saying I would be Julie. I don't know
Julie?
who that is on the Love Boat.
All right. Well, there you go. We'll take her word for it. All right. I cannot figure out how to. I'm gonna just do that,
we go,
and
that's
we're gonna go with this. All right. So here we are. Romance at sea. Tips and tricks for sailing with your couple. As a couple here, and CT, you do quite a bit of sailing as a couple with your partner. So you are most knowledgeable. Sam and I have done how many couples only sailings have we done, Sam?
1, 2, 3. I think 4.
Only 4.
I've got twice as many as you guys have.
He's
It's the only number
We're
I've
like-
got on
we're
you. I
like-
think you've got
we're
30
like-
cruises. So
We're like
Yeah.
gold and CT's platinum here. All right. All right. Well, let's see. How
Actually, we're silver in. I think we're silver in couple cruises, and he's platinum in couple or gold.
Okay,
in
so I wanted to start with this slide. I love this picture. My wife and I actually, these are we're dressed up. These are we wanted to look like Mickey and Minnie for a Halloween on the High Seas formal night.
so
And
cute.
that was the cruise that got away from us. So we wore these when we went to Europe anyway. And so the piece here is you got to have someone that you just absolutely love and want to go through the work for.
Oh, I
right?
love
Like,
that. Step
that's
one.
the first.
Yeah.
That's step one. Got to have that. And I was in a bunch of modes leading up to this week. Next slide. And last week I was watching some Psych, and I came across the episode called Dead Air. where the radio host gets murdered, and during the investigation, I think the radio studio manager makes the moves on Gus, and then pulls him off, puts him on the show over his good friend there. And anyway, but that's not what we're doing tonight. We're not doing Gus. We're not doing what is it? A player named Gus. Oh yeah. We're not
Oh,
doing that.
yeah.
We're not doing that tonight.
Oh,
But I had to get Sykin before anybody else on the slide in the DCL duo.
I love it. You just like created a new benchmark, CT.
If I gave my player named CT advice in the era of Guster, it would be your tie matches your pants, not your shirt, or else it looks like you bought it in a box together. And number 2 is you don't buy her flowers when you mess up, otherwise there's a 2-week reminder that you were an idiot sitting on the kitchen table. You buy her chocolates when you mess up. Flowers are when you think about it, just because. So all right, we're off to player named Gus.
I love
Nice.
that.
Nice.
I
All
love
right.
it.
All right. So before cruises, right? There's some great ways before and after cruises you can do things that are just absolutely romantic, and it's part of that's knowing, who you're planning for and what you're doing. So one of the first things I do whenever I plan a trip is I hop into Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, and just see what's happening in those debarkation towns that look like they're. And for my wife, like I'm not sure music is an official love language, but we'll say it is.
It's
one
an
here. So,
official love language. I
Yeah.
love
So-
this. So what a great idea. I
Yeah,
would not have
so-
thought of doing that. Like, because I'm always
Well-
thinking, oh, you get there and you just like rest in the hotel. But I love the idea of like going to see a show. I mean, for me, it wouldn't probably be a music concert. For me, it would be like a Broadway show, obviously,
Mhm.
or a national tour. But like, I love the idea of seeing a show in a different city.
Well,
So
and we
Go ahead.
so Sam, we've also done some of it, like, when we went to, well, we didn't go on a cruise after, but we could have easily done that. When we went to London that one time, we look
Yes.
around for those like private, fun little experiences that just kind of like up level, I think, whatever you're already doing. So we went to go on the London Eye, and I figured out that they have a like private capsule
Mhm.
experience you can do on the London Eye. And was it priced? Super memorable, and it was like just Sam and I in a capsule with someone's there with you, and make sure you don't, I think, get it up to any shenanigans that they wouldn't want you to get up to. But they were like serving champagne and chocolates and stuff, and we just got to go on a rotation of the London Eye, just the two of us. When we went to see Back to the Future the musical recently in London, right? Sam, I got the I forget what they called it, but it was like a VIP kind of
Yes.
lounge experience that we could go sit and have drinks in, and then go to our seats.
I
and all
mean,
sorts of stuff.
we did do the Harry Potter tour coming back from Norway, right? Like that after we docked at I don't even remember the port, Dover. Yeah. So I mean, I guess like, yeah, those are, to me, that's my love language, like a show or a Harry
Harry
Potter
Potter.
museum. That's my love
That
language.
also is an official love language.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Gryffindor
for-
in particular.
So for my wife, it worked out that I bought the Andrea Bocelli tickets for her for her birthday that year, and like, I don't know if you know, but like he only does like
Just
4 or 5
very small
concerts
number
a
of shows.
year,
Yeah.
right? Like because his health and his vision and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
and trying to maintain his voice for as long as he can. So that's just a great concert. And then we also have done One Republic, Need to Breathe, Train, all of these. Sometimes it's en route as we're going, sometimes it's in the embarkation city. So just a great something to look at, something like I said, for me it's the shows, but if you're trying to plan something for your partner that's into sports, right? Like there's other things you can do. It's really about knowing that person and knowing what's the right thing, and
Yeah.
those have worked out good for me.
I love
on the
Dennis has a great comment too. Book a winery tour before, after your cruise, like particularly in Europe. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Upgrade your partner's plane tickets to
First class.
international first class for
Yeah.
her birthday.
Or business class, right? I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
see, so some of these have happened already. I can hear some good examples coming out. So, but moving on to the next slide. Another one is like a nice romantic dinner. Like some of the best dinners we've had are ones that I kind of research up front, and
Yeah.
it's easy to just walk through the city, and there's something great about just taking the city in and picking a spot and stopping. But for one, it was Aqua Viva. Unfortunately, it's not there. I think they in COVID, their small restaurant didn't survive, but the menu there was amazing in San Juan, and my wife absolutely loved the seafood there, and it was all of her favorites were on the menu, so it was perfect. In the other one where you see the Roman Coliseum in the background, That one was on the rooftop of the Royal Art Cafe, which I recommend to as soon as I hear someone's in Rome, because all my fellow like veterans or folks who I still know who are active duty, when I hear they're over in Europe and hopping over to Rome, I'll text them right away like, hey, this is the spot you got to go. This is what
Love
you
it.
tell them, and they will put you up on the rooftop and view just a beautiful view
What a
of
great
the
view of the
lit up at night.
Colosseum. Yeah.
And a great picture, right?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I
If you're
can.
getting a lot of glare and having trouble control the light, try holding a menu off on the right as you're snapping the picture. It helps. So,
Ooh. Good
okay.
pro tip. I
Love
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
Love it. Hey, and
Um,
one for all of you like Disney fans going out of Orlando, like don't feel like you have to go to some far flung city. You could always get a little dinner at Victoria and Albert's going the night before your cruise. So there you go. Yeah.
yeah, and I will say that while all the fancy places are sometimes the ones we think of for romantic, sometimes it's not the fancy place, it's the right place.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yes.
like knowing with their the Aqua Viva wasn't the fanciest place in San Juan, but it was the perfect place because it showed I paid attention, right? Like paying attention, listening. Anyway.
Yeah.
Morimoto Asia is speaking Sam's love language. So
That
there you
is
go.
actually
Um,
the sticky ribs at
yeah.
Morimoto Asia. That is my food love language. Like really, really any well, Asian food in general is my love language, basically
Yeah.
for food. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love this comment from Kenton. They did Tuscany as a post eastbound transatlantic trip. So they did cooking classes, wine tastings,
That's
uh
awesome.
Cortona, Rome. Oh, those cities. Cortona, Rome, and Florence. Yeah, listen to episode 457 for more. Yes, exactly.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
may have to
So
go back to that one because I'm thinking about that area. So
yeah. So I mean, really great pre-planning and post-planning for stuff to do before and after your cruise. I love that.
yep. On the next one, I included one more, and that's on the next slide, and that's and I'm bringing this up because the magic and the wonder, we just got great exciting news for 26 that they're going. There's a restaurant called the Observatory that's up on top
Ooh.
of Grouse Mountain in Vancouver, and you can watch the sunset and kind of the city lights light up. It's up at the top of the mountain, very romantic, great menu, great food. This was recommended to me from I have a friend at work goes out to Vancouver every year. Shout out to Pam. She's super awesome, and she recommended this, and this was a great experience for us.
I want
One
to
of those
go
restaurants
there.
that don't rush you. So
Yeah.
I am writing it down on my check
Yeah.
notepad
Look
right
at
I'll
now.
how
send you a link, Brian. I got
beautiful.
the link still. I'll
Yeah,
get
I
that
love
away.
that.
Yep.
It looks gorgeous, and I mean, we're gonna be up in Vancouver, obviously, because we're going on Alaska this summer, going on a cruise to Alaska. But we can hop up to Vancouver. It's only like a 3.5 hour drive in general. So
Yep.
yeah, Dennis is saying Grouse Mountain is just a fantastic place
Yep.
in
Take the
general.
gondola.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'm
Hike
Don't
up.
right.
hike up. Just take the
Yep.
gondola. Okay.
I would say
Yeah.
hiking up seems less than romantic, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to be all sweaty by the time you get up there for dinner. I'm guessing it looks kind of
Yeah.
nice.
Perfect.
At
Perfect.
least
Yeah, it's a
not
great
without a
spot.
change of clothes. He's saying.
Pro
Yeah, that
tip.
makes sense, Dennis.
Pro tip.
It's humid. It's humid. So
Yeah.
lots of
Love it.
trees.
Love
Nice.
that.
All right.
Nice.
So now we're going to transition a little bit to some of the smaller things, and then we'll get bigger and bigger. So small things you could do on a cruise if you did not know this. So one of my favorites, I'll go get her favorite drink from the Cove Cafe while
Yeah.
she's getting ready in the morning and bring it back, or meet her with it, or while she's going to get her breakfast, instead of getting my breakfast, I'll hop over. If you did not know, you can get on some of for sure the Dream Class ships. There's a spot where you can get coffees on the backside of cabanas.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to go all the way down to the Cove Cafe. So sometimes I'll hit that spot, or like I said, I'll go all the way down to the Cove if it's one of the classic ships, and I'll grab her coffee. And sometimes it's just the little things you do where they said bringing it down to the room. And
I want to tell you that in this story, I'm CT and Brian is Kelsey, because I am the one who brings him his coffee, and that's his love language, right? Like, so
Mhm.
me bringing him coffee in the morning is like, there's nothing probably more romantic than that for Brian.
Well, it's also to render Brian functional in the
That's
Yeah,
morning.
true. I mean,
listen,
let's be
coffee is all of
honest.
our love languages.
But I have like some natural caffeination, so like I can function a little before I have my caffeine for a little while. Brian, not functional until he has his caffeine whatsoever.
Got it.
Very grumpy. Very, very grumpy. Hey,
Yeah.
CT, before we dive into the onboard though, like what about like not the pre-stay, but some stuff that you can book in advance or buy?
We'll talk about that. We'll
Gonna get
We'll
there?
get to
All
that.
right,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna
we're
get
gonna get
there.
there.
All right,
Yep,
all
yep,
right.
yep.
I
I
love
wanted to cover the stuff
tinfoil
on the
mouse here,
cruise
by the
from
way.
small to medium to large. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Palo, if you did not know, you can go up to Palo before a reservation and let them know what you're planning on celebrating. If you want to leave something for them to bring to the table or give them any information up front, you can do all of that. And they take such good notes in the system and they do such a good job. Now, here's what I'll say: when they take really good care of you at Palo, please take really good care of them
Yes.
back. Right. But
Yes.
I will tell you, on the last cruise we were on, they were absolutely amazing when I stopped by and told them what I was planning on doing in Palo. And we'll get to that because that's a little bigger than just the small things.
Yes.
But they will Palo does a great job as you're walking in. They'll ask if you're celebrating anything today. Most fancy restaurants do. It's when they don't ask and you've already done the work that just that little bit of extra work goes a long way when you have a chance to stop by there. And they do such a good job of taking care of, both the hostesses, the wait staff. If you don't know, it's the manager that's usually up there at the desk that's making
Mhm.
sure people are getting taken care of and asking questions. And don't be afraid. The best time that I'm able to do it, sometimes I can't get all the way up to Palo, on embarkation day while we're having embarkation lunch. Hey, I got to go to the restroom, and I'll stop by where they're adjusting reservations.
Yeah.
They're on the kind of the main decks, 3 and 4, and then I'll let them know what's going on, and then hop back into the restaurant. So
I
that's a
want
good
I
way
want to I want to give an additional tip. If you want to do something special in main dining, if you're on either the dream class or the wish class, if you want to have a special dessert delivered from the sweet shop, you can actually pre-order and have them deliver, either some crazy ice cream sundae,
Mhm.
cupcakes, whatever, any of the things that they have in the sweet shop. They don't have one on the Magic of the Wonder, so that's why it's not available on the Magic of the Wonder. But you can prepay for the thing and then it'll be delivered at your dining table for your dessert on a particular night. So if you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, and you just want to level up, you want to do something a little bit more special than whatever the dining room desserts happen to be, you can prearrange that as well. So another kind of small thing to
Here's
do.
here's a fun tip. Room service coffee the night before, then you can drink together in your PJs without having to be decent for the room service guy in the morning. Yes, yes. That is a good trick actually,
Mhm.
because the pot will keep it hot most of the night. So yeah.
But that's only if you're willing to drink that Joffrey's regular coffee, and I
Mm.
can't do that. I'm sorry, Kenton, but I like your tip if I could drink that stuff that they call coffee.
All right, what's next, CT?
Next slide is a couple of other small things. Sorry, the picture makes me laugh. We'll cover it. But the first one is just sneaking off to a quiet corner of the ship. There's times where the ship is busy and you can predict pretty well where everyone's going to be. And some of the most romantic moments I think we've had on the ship is when that little outdoor area that's next to Meridian
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
on the backside of Apollo there. We've gone back there quite a few times and just, we'll sit outside and the wind's going a little bit, but like it's a beautiful moment off the back of the ship. We always take a great picture back there. Some of those are my favorite pictures that we have together, like that one there. So,
Yeah.
um,
That's a really cute picture. I love even just, like, taking a walk on the promenade deck, right?
yeah,
On either the Magic class or the Dream class, because obviously which class you got all the stairs and stuff,
stairs
but
and stuff.
yeah, but I think just taking a nice little walk, just the 2 of you, or relaxing by the, maybe adult quiet cove pool, something like that. Those little moments I think are
And
perfect.
and, and the goal of that too is like, listen, there's a lot of great things you can do on a cruise ship, and this goes for any cruise, right? Because there's activities aplenty everywhere. But when you decide your activity just wants to be investing back in your relationship or your partner, like, I think that's a good romantic thing to do. The next one is a total blunder, but came across as romantic. And I'm looking at the Facebook group and I see Christmas wear, and I'm like, I think they're all wearing Christmas sweaters that night. So what do? I hop on, I buy a couple of ugly Christmas sweaters and
Yeah.
throw them in the bags and bring them. And we're the only ones wearing Christmas sweaters in the middle of the Caribbean on Christmas Day on the
Oh,
Disney Magic.
you would
I
not have
love
Ryan,
that.
you would not have been alone with us, CT. We packed Christmas spirit
treasure,
jerseys and
yeah.
sweaters.
The-
Yeah.
We were, and there were tons of people wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. I want to add to this though, taking pictures. You might have a partner who really loves to take pictures. I'm
It's
thinking
aimed directly at me.
I'm
like-
thinking like someone like me who loves to take pictures. My friend Tracy loves to take pictures, right? You might have a kid who loves to take pictures, but if your person loves to take pictures, especially magic shots, just indulge them. Get in that line, take that magic shot, put on that ugly sweater, put on that, tie or button down shirt or whatnot, and take those pictures because what you have after these trips, right, are the memories of the trips. And one of the best way to relive those memories is through the pictures. So please take my advice.
PhotoPass is the first thing I always budget for when I'm,
Yeah.
after the cruise. First thing is we always get the PhotoPass where we live, and probably because we don't have kids, we don't do portraits at all, back at home. So that's a great opportunity for us to do it and take advantage of it. And I'll tell you that um the Christmas sweaters, I think we were like 4 pictures in because they move you from the Christmas tree to another spot, and we're on the 4th picture, and Kelsey looks at me and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I was so red because I was dying in the sweater. I think that sweater lasted about maybe 45 minutes that night for pictures, and then
Yeah.
I was like, "We gotta go back to there. Am I gonna change? I'm dying, dying." She's like,
Well,
"You bought the sweater. You're the one that picked it out." And I'm like, "Yep, I'm dying, dying."
I will give you a pro tip, which is wear a different shirt that you like underneath the Christmas sweater. So you could take a few pictures in the Christmas sweater and then take off the Christmas sweater to take the rest of the pictures in like a normal shirt. So you don't have all of your pictures in the
Yeah.
Christmas sweater. Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. So, but when we look back at these pictures, is some of our favorites from the trip, and ended up being some of the cutest. So
So a couple.
she's also told me I'm not allowed to plan what we're wearing at night anymore.
Fair.
Couple good comments here. Dennis is saying the sunset on the promenade deck can be
Oh,
very
nice
romantic.
call.
Yes, that's a great
Love
one.
that deck 4.
I actually love the quiet moments, not embarkation sail away, because that's just a zoo pretty much everywhere, but like sailing out of the different ports of call can be just a very nice,
Yeah,
relaxing, quiet time because most people are getting ready for dinner. They're still at the pool. So that's another good option. And then Craig is saying, go to character greetings with your partner's favorite character, and yes, get a photo. And Kenton is saying photos of the golden arrow on the deck outside Meridian. Yes, those are all good suggestions.
we also we went to the front of the ship for the sail away party this year.
Yeah,
And it was nice and quiet up there. It
is
was
nice
it
and
was great.
Yeah.
think
I love
made a
those.
I probably made a Titanic joke.
I love those bars on the Dream class ships that are kind of on the wings up above
Mhm.
the adult pool. I don't forget what they call it, but it's not the promenade.
Signals.
Signals.
Yeah.
Signals. Sit on the right, not the left, because the left is the smoking section. But on the right, if you can
Mhm.
sit up there, you can have a drink, you can watch the sail away. It's great. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up.
Yeah. All right. So
This is what
getting
I
down-
was thinking. This is what
So
I
a
was
little
thinking.
bigger, a little bigger, right? So a little bigger can be packing decorations from home, which is what you see off on the
Yeah.
left there. That's a Christmas tree I picked up off the Disney store years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And
wow.
we've
It's
taken it a
lasted.
few times to Disney with us to set up as a Christmas tree in our in our villa, or and then I packed it and took it on the cruise. So sometimes it's just the extra effort. The problem is between this and the decorating goals for the stateroom door, I had a whole bag that was just decorations for the trip. And then
That's
as
always true
Brian-
with Christmas, especially.
yeah, and then as Brian was alluding to, go to the onboard gifts and amenities site and check it out. A couple of my favorite things are like obviously decorating the room for a birthday or an anniversary or the holidays. You can't see the holiday ones now because they clean that stuff out right away and they start reassigning ports for the different designs as they get into the next year. Another one I pointed out that I've done before is the Romance for Two, which is item 1242. I'll say it again, 1242. If someone's taking notes at home, that's the Disney Cruise Line branded robes, a bottle of Savoy and the box of chocolates with Beautiful Rose. So that is their kind of their quintessential romantic item that's off there. Keep in mind that if you also do like some of the flowers, which can be a really nice touch, really beautiful, especially depending on some of the ports. Sometimes the floral arrangements or the small Christmas trees that they do that are real are not allowed off the ship.
Right.
Your mileage kind of varies on those things. So just know that if you're going to drop the money on that, it's to enjoy it in your stateroom, and then it 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 stays there forever.
Yeah.
People love those robes, by the way. And actually, I just saw that they've
There was a
changed the
comment
robes.
too,
Yeah.
Brian. There was a comment from Kenton. I have scrolled back to get it to find it. Yeah, did the romance package on their eastbound transatlantic in 2024, then had to lug those heavy / awesome robes through Italy for the next week. Just booked the westbound transatlantic for 2025. Will not be getting that package again.
Mm.
So this is the balance, right? Like people love those robes and they say they're
Mhm.
fantastic. But remember, those robes are to keep, and you're gonna want to keep them because you spent a good amount of money for the robes, but they are gonna take up quite a
Should-
bit of room in the luggage.
So-
I wonder if
so-
you could just bring one of those air, like the bags where you shove them in and then either roll them up to get the air out, or just have the stateroom attendant ask if you can borrow their vacuum for a second, just flatten them out. You know what I'm talking about? The space saver bags.
Yeah. Or we always bring a collapsible duffel bag.
Yeah,
we do that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just think you gotta have room in your luggage and know if you're gonna buy that. But it comes with champagne or Cloudum non-alcoholic cider or whatnot, right? So
Do we like the Cloudum? I think I tried it once and it was like
it's fine. I'm fine with it in a mixed drink. I don't know that I want to drink it on its own, but the kids seem to like it, so
well,
it's
of
kind of
course they do.
sweet.
It's like sugar.
Yeah, it's kind of
Of course it
sweet.
is.
But I mean, it's for the for the people who don't drink alcohol. The
Yeah.
Cloudum is a great option. But yeah, you can get with it. Usually comes with. I want to call it a sparkling wine. I think or a prosecco. I don't know that it's actually a champagne that it comes with, but it comes with a bubbly and 2
Mhm.
robes. There is actually like another package that comes with a single robe, I think, as well.
Yes. Yeah.
so-
Romance
so-
for one.
Yeah, so if you wanted to get it just for your partner and you didn't want like one for yourself, right? You could do that as well. If you don't want to
Yeah.
lug 2 robes, 2 robes might be one too many. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I do think
Um,
a lot of people like that package, and you're right about the flowers and plants and whatnot. It's something to think about.
I'm trying to find one of my favorite amenity packages. I can't find the photo. I've got to find the photo of you, Sam. Was the one we did for your birthday, and it had
Oh,
the
big
big birthday
tie.
tie on it that we
I
still
still-
have.
I still have that big
Yeah,
birthday
and we made
tie.
you wear. We insisted that you wear it around the ship, and you got so many happy birthdays from
I
the
got
crew.
it was like a ginormous. I swear, I think I still have it in the closet in this room right here.
That's awesome.
It's like a ginormous birthday tie, and it says, I don't
It was
remember if it says
fantastic.
happy birthday or it says it's my birthday. I can't remember, but it's awesome. And it came with this fun like Disney Cruise Line box that's actually sitting in the same room that I'm in also. So yeah, they usually come with a few fun things. I think the onboard amenities, these are things you pre-order, by the way.
Mhm.
So you're
Pay
gonna
for it
want
up
to
front.
Yes, you're going to want to check the app to see what's available in sort of the months before your cruise. Sometimes they add stuff and sometimes things run out. These on the packages that have like Christmas trees in them tend to go pretty fast, as do some of the holiday sort of blanket packages. But the birthday ones and the romance ones, those seem to be fairly available throughout, and you can, I think you can order them up until just a couple days before your cruise.
I also, along with this, you can, for the romance for 2, don't feel like you have to get the one with the robes. Don't be afraid to just order a bottle of wine that you really like. It'll come with a couple of glasses, and then maybe you bring a small gift from home that you've packed in your bag, and you kind of make your own. If the robes are too much and not the right pace for you or your partner, like you can always bring something else that's a small token to put with it right away when you get in the room, and it goes just as well. And in the case here with the holiday decorations in the room, that was all a surprise for my wife when we got there. She had no idea I'd done that in the room. So
Love that.
just to make it a little special. So
I love Alicia's comment too. This is for the Lego lover. Nathan and Alicia built a Lego Christmas wreath together on the Fantasy during a very maritime cruise in 2024.
cool.
They just found a nice spot in the atrium area by the cafe, so kind of spot off to the side where there's couches and maybe a little coffee table, and just yeah, I love that. I think that's a great idea. Oh, and Dennis is saying the C in CT clearly stands for Cupid.
ooh, I don't know about that.
So
Wait, all right, so hold on. I have found the photo. There it is. Sam in the birthday tie. She hated this tie. She hated that we made her wear it around the ship, but it was
I
fantastic.
kind of
That's
loved
amazing.
it and hated it at the same time, if that makes sense.
It was fantastic.
That's amazing. I love it.
It was so worth
I
it.
love it.
So worth it.
Yeah.
All right, let me get back to the CT.
That was in
presentation.
COVID times. I saw Nathan in the background
The
wearing,
mask, yeah.
wearing his mask.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that was COVID. That was definitely COVID. There we go. Here we go.
Which imagine how full it would have been had there been lots of people on the ship, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So these are a couple of ones that I think are good,
Aw,
and to
these
go
are
back
such
to the
good
photos, right?
pictures, CT. I
Like,
love these
you're-
pictures.
So like your vibe and the vibe you give, right? If you look like you're frustrated with your partner the whole time, listen, the photo people don't want to spend a lot of time with you either then. So if you're fun with the photo people, you will have a fun, they will make sure you have a fun time back, if that makes sense. So we're always, I usually have a couple of the photo people that end up making my survey at the end of a trip because they usually do such a good job and we build such good relationships with them. But the vibe you give, right? Like that all matters when you're doing the photo pass thing. Off on the other side, here's my other recommendation is do a private tour. Do a private tour where there's
Yeah.
just one person taking you around, and you can reach out to them beforehand if you're not booking through Disney. And you can tell them, hey, this is a romantic trip for us and whatever. And they will, so like if you see there's love Roma on the plate there in olive oil, for us as we're having dinner or lunch together, this was a little pasta stop at a little restaurant between man, it was between probably is it the Pantheon? Is it the first church in Rome, like old building, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Pantheon. So between there and going to the Vatican, we stopped at this little spot and had some really good pasta and bolognese, and it was a beautiful little stop, carbonara. I just, the food was amazing, and she did a good job. Michaela from Can't Be Missed Tours. They still do tours in Italy. Can't Be Missed is definitely one I highly recommend. A good tip I picked up from another somebody in the influencer world here for DCL. So
I also I want to put a plug in for the private tour. So I've always used Viator or why am I blanking on the name?
TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor. Thank you. I want to say tour or something, but TripAdvisor. Because for one reason, I don't go on looking for the city tours and stuff. I go on looking for like what is the weirdest tour I can find on here. And so Sam and I have done. We did a walking tour of Harry Potter in London one time that took you to all these places.
Unofficial.
Unofficial, because it was all to sort of
like where the
inspired
places that are inspired. Yeah.
inspired it, right? Like Borough Market. We did a food walking tour of Borough Market, which was fantastic. Although I think it was a small group tour. But we did two tours that are really memorable to me. One is we did a private black cab tour in London one time.
That was awesome.
Which was just a great way to see the city, but it was also just the two of us. We got to really pick what we wanted to see, what we wanted to skip, all that sort of stuff.
And how much time to spend in each place.
It was great. And actually we also loved that bus tea tour that we did in London that one time, which was a lot of fun, and just the two of us. But the one that I remember the most is we go to New York quite often. So unrelated to cruising, we go to New York quite often because that's where Sam's family's from. And I decided we would do a graffiti tour of the skyline. And so like a local, tagger graffiti artist shows up and walks around and points out all of the different kinds of graffiti and all this stuff. And at the end, he gave us like a sticker and he's like, all right, now go add to the New York graffiti scene, right? And so we went to this restaurant that we love to go to, this Chinese place, again, speaking Sam's love language, called it was Wo Hop. There's these two Chinese restaurants that battle one another, and it's Hop Key and Wo Hop. They're on Mott Street in Chinatown in New York, and we're Wo Hop people. And we went down there, and I was like, the walls here are covered with stuff. Like we should just slap our sticker up. And so we were like all being covert. They didn't care. we put our sticker up on the wall. So anyway, it was just a fun little memory that I carry with me now of a fun little tour we did and a fun little activity we did after. So it was great. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that.
that's super great. But the private tours, you hit it on the head. Like
Yeah.
you get to spend as much time as you want in places. You always have someone to take pictures of you because they're along with it for the tour, right? Like, and they really do. I have one out of the more than 10 that we've done with a private tour guide that I was disappointed in. The rest of them have been absolutely great. So I would say that one is the odd one out. You won't be disappointed in the money is worth it. So
Yeah. Oh, and Kenton is jumping in. I remember talking to him about this, the romantic tuk-tuk tour they did in Lisbon. Yeah, that one sounded like an amazing one. Also, of course, it's just the two of you with one, with your driver guide. So yeah, there's great opportunities for private tours. I love these pictures, by the way, of you guys in particular with these plain backdrops. One of for people who may not recognize the white backdrop, but like if you look at our thumbnail for the podcast, that picture is a picture taken of Brian and I on Disney Cruise Line
And I
on the
remember
floor.
I remember the
that
guy
white-
said, "Get on the floor," and I was like wearing this super nice suit that I had bought. And he's like, "Get on." I was like, Are you kidding me right now? I'm gonna roll
I've
around
done
on the
that
floor.
before.
And then
Yeah.
we did, and it turned out to be a great.
It's like
photo.
our best picture, and it is literally our podcast picture.
You're better than me. I'm not worried about the suit coat on the floor or the pants. I'm more worried about who's going to help me get back up after. Like I'm not made for getting on and off the floor anymore. It's just not a thing. So,
Kenton
knees
saying you
aren't
did
built
a
for it.
Yeah, I already said that.
tuk-tuk tour.
Remember?
Yeah.
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 That's the one we
Yeah.
talked to him about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loved that.
All right, let's keep going here.
All right. So this one is so we're getting a little bigger now. So
You're
we
such
actually
a
went
baby
out.
in this picture, CT.
There's a what?
You're such a baby in this
Oh
picture.
my goodness,
The one
yes,
on the
this is
left.
so long ago.
with-
So this is an Easter cruise in the Southern Caribbean. We got on Easter Day and they had the White Rabbit, which was amazing because anytime we can get like a rare to see character, of course, the White Rabbit didn't stand still for the picture because he was
Yes.
late. Of course he was late. That's why the picture didn't turn out good. Anyway, I brought just a simple gift on this cruise that I gave to her when we got on the ship. It was her first Apple Watch. So she was closing the rings began, and I don't
Sounds
think
like that
she's
worked
missed
out.
a day since.
Sounds like that worked out better for you than Sam's first iPhone. For me, but yes.
But
He's
right,
still
it brought a
today.
little surprise to bring with on the trip, and it was a small gift, not a big deal. And we'll talk a little bit more about packing gifts when we get into the next one.
Yeah, I love this Tracy's comment. He was just hopping in, CT.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love it. But ching, love it. By the way, somebody asked me in our Facebook group just the other day about Easter, actually it was in our April cruise group about Easter on board Disney Cruise Line. And I want to be clear, like they used to do stuff pre-pandemic on Easter Day only, and post-pandemic, from what I have heard, nobody has seen any Easter activities or any Easter, bunny appearances and things like that. So just be warned that they might not do things.
I want to say I've seen the chocolate eggs still.
Maybe.
But that's not, for a lot of people, Easter is about something totally different than that. I get it.
Right.
But,
not about chocolate eggs.
Yep.
What?
It's not about chocolate eggs. Although that is my wife's love language, Easter
You're right.
candy, right?
There's an alternative, cream-filled eggs. I totally
Right.
get it.
It's a cream-filled
Right.
eggs.
There's Easter candy, there's Halloween candy, and Christmas candy, and there's constantly a discussion in this house about which one is better.
Oh.
My
As
wife
long as
did tell
there's a
me that
peanut
it's
butter cup.
Easter.
As long as there is a Reese's peanut butter cup that is not a regular shape, like it is, that is a special one. That's the one that is the winner.
Whatever, that paste is not made out of anything.
That
we
is
can eat.
absolutely my love language, is the
Yes.
odd shaped Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, whether it's an
Hearts,
egg, a
trees,
heart, tree, it doesn't
eggs.
matter.
Reester bunnies, right?
Oh,
Like,
God.
should we do those?
Oh, love it. I mean, look, our son is Jewish, but he rocked the egg hunt at the zoo
Oh, yeah.
the first year we took him. So
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
That
That's
kid,
awesome.
he knows how to hunt for eggs.
Oh,
All right,
Just
so
grab
small
'em.
gift. So this one was a little bit bigger one. So these are some older pictures, but I got to tell the
Yeah.
story before I get to it. So I went all out this trip with. As a matter of fact, I talked to Sam a couple of times because I was looking for some tips or to have someone vet my thoughts with the process. So just to start out, 20 years ago, this Christmas, this one that just passed, I deployed to Iraq on Christmas morning, early in the morning, about 1 o'clock in the morning. And while I was gone for those 8 months, some friends of mine who knew Kelsey were telling her about me, lying to her in church, saying that I was a great guy, and they were trying to fix us up. We met when I returned, and we didn't really hit it off at first, but after a few months, we kind of
You had
found
to
our
convince
way
her.
in our own time, right? Like just we and I will tell you, when I got back, I was really angry at the world, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And I realized shortly after we started dating that man, God sent me an angel, and just like the mercy that to call me, to like bring me back to who I was. That's why I'm convinced that's why God put her in my life. So she's my best
Oh.
friend. The key for any man is to find a woman that will roll her eyes, not hit him in the back of the head.
How
Right.
about a little bit of
So
both?
I
the
failed.
rolling the eyes.
I
the ro-
failed. I failed at this
Sorry.
time.
But when we were younger, we got engaged. I was a young staff sergeant, didn't make a whole lot, and I bought her the modest ring I could afford at the time. So when I tell you, she has been amazing in the last couple of years. Around COVID, I got really sick with an autoimmune disorder that really kind of shook up my life and changed my life. And she was a rock through me not having the energy to get across the house. I think the worst of it was like 3 weeks straight. And I've been better for about a year now, which is great. I finally found the healing plan there, and she was by my side through all of it. So, with that happening, and then some of the other things with me being, I'm on the road so much for work. Those that see me on Twitter see I'm constantly checking into an airport and talking about a flight and taking a selfie with Snoopy or some obscure statue of something in some airport somewhere. So I'm gone all the time, and I just decided this year I wanted to invest back in our marriage the best way I knew how to. So I bought her a new wedding ring.
Yeah.
Um,
Diamonds are a
to
girl's best
upgrade it.
friend, right?
Upgrade it. She would never ask me.
Of course she
But
wouldn't.
it was something that I like. God just put it on my heart to do that for her this year, and I did it. So, so let's talk a little bit about logistics before we get to the rest of it. Um, Packing a gift can be super complicated with TSA and airport security. I can't speak to a lot. The Apple Watch was still in its traditional packing and didn't create an issue in a carry-on. So for someone who's thinking about a gift like that, all that recyclable material goes well through a TSA check and does well. Um, for the ring, I wasn't going to let a gift like that out of my sight, so it wasn't going in
Mhm.
the bag, just too expensive. So I put it, you can go to the next slide, I think. I put it in a small pill container, like the day night pill container. And it was in the top pouch of this bag that I carried around with me after we got to Galveston. And we went out to the beach that morning. And we'll talk more about that. I'm catching up with you guys in like 2 weeks to do a trip report with you guys. But the ring was in the back of this backpack, and I found she was harassing me to help carry it, and I finally turned it over to her to carry for a little, wear for a little bit.
Oh my God,
We
were
were
you
walking over
freaking
to a
out?
Starbucks. No,
Yeah.
but I took a picture
Where's
of
the
her because
chapstick again? Is it in here? Is
the funny, ironic part is she's walking around carrying the ring and had no idea. And
Yeah.
I took the picture of her because I thought it would be funny for later. And then she turned at me with this stern look, like, "Why are you taking a picture of me while I'm walking? Like, what are you taking a picture of my butt for?" Right? Like, anyway, so that's the funny behind that picture.
I
And
love that.
I would say the pill container worked really well. If they see something, the TSA is they know what's going on when they see something like that and you're carrying it like that. So that went well. And then so the day of
Dennis is digging your story.
I love it.
Yes.
so the day of I decided to give her the ring. I was gonna leave it under the tree, but my dad was a big fan of me giving it to her at brunch, so I went with that.
Love
It
that.
was good advice, and it went across perfectly. We kind of sat down and I kind of talked her through what I was talking to you guys about, just
How
you know,
awesome she is.
good love stories don't start when you say I do, right? Have you ever seen a
Yeah.
movie that starts with I do?
No.
Not often. I think just the Lexington ones where
Except when you watch
someone gets murdered at
Married
some
at
point
First
in it.
Sight. Married at First Sight
Okay.
starts with I
Okay.
do.
None
That's
of
fair.
those are
But that's-
good love stories.
Yes.
Most of the time they're not good love stories, but once in a while there's like one or two
If
good love
it's on
stories. The new
TV
season starts on the 14th, by the way.
if it's on TV, it's going to be a train wreck. That's what they're going for.
It's reality
So,
TV.
what
so
I love too about
it's
this photo,
usually a train
CT,
wreck.
of so CT's for those of you listening later, we've been going through a whole slide deck. CT's got a photo of the ring up here, and you also managed to capture the Apple Watch. So there you go. You got both gifts in
It's
one
also in
photo.
there.
You did. It's a 2 for
Perfect.
1.
That one's been upgraded a few times, that watch.
Yeah.
More often than the ring.
Fair.
She seems to go through the batteries.
Yeah.
But you know, I they didn't quite understand it wasn't our 20-year anniversary, but it was the 20-year anniversary of our love story beginning. So
Yeah.
Love it.
that was how I decided to celebrate, and it was, and then that was Palo Brunch. So plus it's Palo Brunch, like you can't go wrong. I know there's no souffle, Tracy, but Palo Brunch is pretty good.
See, I was
Either
waiting for this
way.
to get into a comedy of errors. Like, can you put the ring into a souffle?
No,
Into
no.
a
Or-
no, you don't want to put it into a
No.
souffle. Somebody's gonna get choked.
Too
Listen. Don't put
nervous.
jewelry into food or drink. Okay. I'm going to put that rule out there for your romance 101. Don't put
Nope.
the ring or any piece of jewelry into the food or drink. There's too much of a choking hazard. Okay. We don't want to be doing the Heimlich. We want to gift the jewelry next to maybe the souffle, not in the souffle or
No, I
the
did it very-
champagne.
I did it very simply. I just kind of started talking to her about the last 20 years and how much she means to me, and then had the box in my pocket and pulled it out, just set it on the table nicely and finished talking, and she was in tears, then I was in tears, and then the waitress was in tears. It was all but it
I'm
was
sorry, I'm laughing because this is so sweet. I
Yeah.
love it.
it was good. We had a great time, and it was good. It was a good moment for us. So
I'm chuckling because I'm like, don't give Sam any ideas over here, because
Listen, I'm
she only wears Tiffany jewelry as it is. So like this is like a
No, Brian actually did bring me a bracelet. It was a Tiffany bracelet, but he brought me a bracelet for Christmas on our most recent cruise as well. And so he had to figure out where he was going to pack it and hide it and all that. And so to be fair, I kind of knew it was coming because I gave him my Christmas list and it was on it. And so I thought it was likely.
I'm not allowed to
100%.
surprise with jewelry anymore because
That's true.
I will get it wrong. So
That's
my
true.
privileges have been revoked. Yeah.
It's not I'm real picky about
the
jewelry.
bruise on the back of my head, CT, starts to tingle a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
No, listen, I think this is a lovely, lovely gift and a lovely
It's
gesture.
amazing. It's amazing.
I really do. I will say, for me, I need to be the one to pick out my jewelry. So I don't want to be surprised with jewelry, but I'll pick out something and then he can surprise me with it. So I don't know when it's coming.
we did go on a date night the week before this last Friday, and she picked out the new wedding band to go with it because the old wedding band isn't going to fit around the new rock that's on there. So
Yeah.
we picked out a new wedding band, and we're going to take the old ring and turn it into a necklace or something that
Oh, I love that.
well I'm working with I always recommend people jewelry. Tiffany's is a thing, like I get it, but go to your local shop. Don't go to the
Oh yeah.
the Zales or the K's. And I don't mean to take anything away from anybody that if that's where they work or that's what they do, but for me, if I'm making this kind of investment, I want to make sure it goes to a small business, and because
Oh yeah.
that makes the difference for them, right, for the season. And there's one that supports the orchestra, and one of the bassoonist in the orchestra also works at the jeweler. It was perfect. So the funny part is the lady sits next to my wife in the orchestra has known since September when I picked out the ring and picked it up, because that's how long ago I've been planning it.
Oh, I love that.
She knew the whole time what Kelsey was getting for Christmas, and Kelsey didn't know. So
That's
every
awesome.
Thursday night.
But that's the other part is you have a reliable, helpful person to pick out something, and the person who knows your spouse, right? Like that's another good tip, because like, so I will say my engagement ring, my wedding band, they're not Tiffany. but like people have certain tastes, right? You have certain tastes, and you got to know if your partner likes, white gold or yellow gold or silver or
Mhm.
platinum, right? Like there are people who have different tastes, and knowing that taste is really important for if you're going to surprise them with a big gift like this.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, real quick, I included a couple slides talking about the
Oh,
cruise from home.
virtual cruise.
Yes.
Yes,
I
the
love-
virtual
oh,
cruise. This was
I
awesome.
did. So
This is
I
the
did
best
this.
COVID. This was the best COVID cruise ever.
This is one of my
So-
favorite episodes of the show too. Yeah.
So we did a virtual cruise when COVID happened. Now I will say it doesn't have to be COVID for this. If you have maybe someone, uh, uh, dare I say, hurts their ankle and you're stuck at home for a while, or your cruise gets canceled for another reason, right? So a
Yeah.
family member, you can't plan the trip because, or you just can't plan the trip because sometimes times are tough, right?
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is a great way. Now I spend some money, but you don't have to. And I will pop this picture up on maybe I'll do a trip report of it and put it either up on the Substack or we'll move it to the we'll put it on the Facebook page, something like that. But what you're seeing here, this was the kind of the backbone of what I built for so I had different theme nights. We even had a formal night, we had a pirate night, because it's not a Disney cruise unless there's a pirate night.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it's only unless you're in Alaska and then it's a frozen night. But yes, generally
Yeah.
speaking,
I
a
had
pirate night.
the towel animal for every night and looked on YouTube on how to fold the towel animals.
Amazing.
I even had the little Ghirardelli chocolates like they used to have on the cruise ship. Rip, I miss those. Those are better than
the
whatever's
dove.
yeah, whatever's in the room now. We had excursions, so I did like we went and watched Christmas lights or did a like a treasure hunt / amazing race around town where we were going to different spots and guessing where we had to go next or whatever that I'd put together. We went and watched, looked at Christmas lights on the base. We walked in Oak Park where they have lights all set up. Different activities I had set up. We were into Overcooked during COVID. If anyone knows what Overcooked is, it's like a zany party game on the Switch where you're trying to cook stuff together. And so I had anyone could cook except my wife in Overcooked. Then I had a do I have it here? Oh, I have it here. I bought her. Go to the next slide. Do you like the social Disneying shirts, by the way?
Yes, by the way,
Those were
I
great,
I
yeah.
was gonna say, did that say social Disneying? I love
Yeah,
that.
so I set up a
Look-
little gift shop for her downstairs that had some of the merch we already had, like the ships, but like the shirts I had a friend make.
I
The
love
stateroom door I did 2020 since that was the year of COVID. I ordered some H2O products from online.
I love the swans, the swan heart with
Yeah.
the chocolates. I love
Off
that.
on the side there, I actually bought her one of those Dooney and Burke bags from the parks and had that as well there as part of the gift shop she could go to
Yes.
downstairs. But another one of the items was this delicious Disney, and she actually made a couple of the recipes out of here for the Anyone Can Cook. I had the stuff set aside so she could
I
make
love
she made
it.
lobster mac from Le Cellier and
Oh, I
this
love that.
peanut butter chocolate pretzel cake that used to be at the yacht club. Anyway, I had the YouTube links for different deck parties. I had YouTube links for the Frozen musical because Disney had actually posted that one deliberately through COVID for people to watch if they wanted to
Mhm.
watch on YouTube. But then I found ones that people had like held their cell phone on their
Bootleg
lap or something.
ones.
Yeah, bootleg Villains Tonight, bootleg
Yeah.
Hercules the musical, which we had never
Yeah.
seen otherwise because it was gone. I think Tangled they also did portions of, and then Trans-Siberian Orchestra did a virtual concert, so that was one of the nights as well. So that was a variety act.
That was your variety act.
Yeah, which would never fit on a cruise ship if you've
No,
ever
there's
seen how
too-
they do
they're
those.
too big. There's
So,
too many of them. I love that.
Slide next one. Then there was the food because
Yeah.
right, just like you guys talk about. The Rose Regal is our favorite sweet wine on the cruise. That would be my recommendation if you're looking for sweet to go after your dinner.
I
or
gotta say,
something.
this food looks better than main
Yeah.
dining.
I want to know off air. I want to know more about the famous crab cakes. I saw that on the menu.
Oh,
Those-
Jimmy's.
Yeah.
So those are actually on their way. Those get here day after tomorrow because I've turned into doing that every year for Valentine's Day. I'll order
Ooh.
the jumbo lump crab cakes from Jimmy's, and they come in like a tub, like a potato salad does,
Yeah.
and I'll shape them like hearts and make the
Oh
crab
my
cakes so they're heart-shaped.
goodness. I love it. I
So,
love
but
it.
that's kinda turned into a tradition in our house, so that's that peanut butter, chocolate, pretzel thing. It's
Yum.
delicious. She hasn't made it in a while. It's probably good for me that she hasn't, but, I mean, we made some nice
Yeah, you
meals
made
for
some nice
that week
meals.
while we
Yeah.
were
While other
enjoying
people were
the,
baking sourdough bread,
cruising at home. Yeah.
you were making, Paulo quality meals,
Yeah,
clearly.
the lamb chops I had shipped here because I couldn't find a spot to get the lollipop style, which is
Mhm.
kinda once I had the idea in my head, I was running with it, right? So, um,
Let's be honest, you could do this for probably a little less expensive by sourcing some things a little differently. So,
locally,
yeah.
yes.
So you don't have to go this level of romantic, but
Y
but you
During
can.
COVID, she was, we had planned on seeing our parents,
Yeah, of
and we
course.
thought we had done a good job of, like, being at home with just the 2 of us for, like, 7 days beforehand, and then we heard about somebody who, like, got sick, who got their parents sick, and we just, like, had the tough time of calling our parents and telling them, "Hey, like, we've got a plan, but we don't wanna get you sick," and I threw this together in, like, the 3 weeks beforehand. Before
Mhm.
Christmas, I was, ordering things online, and that was back when shipping times were really good.
Yeah,
You could
Yeah.
get anything in 2 days, so,
yeah.
Yeah.
alright. That doesn't happen anymore, it's like a week if I'm lucky. These are some of the excursions. There's a
This
good
is
pirate night
Pirate Night.
shot,
Yeah.
I love
formal night out taking pictures in the park with the
with the
Christmas
lights,
nights, and
and there's
there's Frozen
Frozen. I love
on our
it.
Christmas
Nice.
tree, yeah, so
I
Nice.
love
that's it.
this.
That's what I got, so
One thing that we didn't cover that I want to highlight that maybe goes in the, you've helpfully done the little to big to bigger.
Mhm.
The biggest, if you really want to go all out, is to do some sort of like vow
So
renewal
I
on
looked
board.
at that for our Rome trip,
Yeah.
and Disney has a one size fits all for that on
Yes,
their
it is
cruises,
basically a wedding. You are paying the same as
and
what a wedding
yep,
is.
It is,
and
and it
if
is
they
not
had
cheap.
something else where
Mhm.
we just had, like, dinner for us and, like, the captain would just give us the 10 minutes, even, I would pay I'd figure out how to separate myself from the 5 to 6 grand for even that experience that I just described
Mhm.
because it would be worth it. Unfortunately, the one size fits all is going to keep us from doing it on a
Yeah.
cruise, at least for us. Like she's a teacher, and
Yeah.
I know it on the news makes it sound like government workers make so much right now. That's not necessarily the case
Sorry,
I'm
I'm
for me.
laughing. I
I
I'm
know.
married
Yeah,
to a government worker,
Yeah.
and I can tell you that's not the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So
So, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there are vow renewals. Of course, you can always surprise your partner with a cruise as a gift, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I always tell people, I'm a size 7 plus night
No,
Disney
no, no. You're
cruise. It
you're a
doesn't.
size, you're a size
I was gonna say
14
I'm
night
plus size.
transatlantic or
Oh,
something.
it's
Yeah, let's
7
be
plus,
Uh,
7
yeah.
plus,
uh,
7 nights or more, right? 7 plus.
Tracy, tell him she's an 11 night
Yeah,
South
Southern
Southern
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
That's
South
right. 11 nights Southern, 11 nights specifically, no more, no
Hey,
less.
hey, real quick before
Um,
we go, what were your guys' favorite? You guys never said what your favorite ones were from the 26 summer itinerary offerings.
oh,
That's because
that's because we're
we
booking
didn't we
Yeah,
didn't
because you're doing
ABD.
an ABD. That doesn't mean you don't. That doesn't
we
mean
did
there's not
not
one you want.
we did not. So if our ABD had been a little bit different, we would probably book that 10-night Southern Caribbean, or at least
Yeah,
look at it.
at least
Okay.
look
But
at it.
because it would end up virtually being a back-to-back 3-week trip, like it's just not going to happen.
Mhm.
So we actually have not booked anything out of the current release, and I am waiting. We didn't say this on the release show, but I thought Disney had moved to twice a year.
We did
Yeah.
say it on the
Oh,
release.
we did
Yeah,
twice
you
year
did. Yep.
releases, and so I was expecting to see November and December in this release, of which we will
Oh,
probably be.
October too.
Oh,
October.
well, October, but
Yeah.
for us, I think our
Yeah.
next Disney cruise after the ABD will be 2026 is an off year for us on Thanksgiving, and so usually we book a cruise for Thanksgiving, and then December. I'm sure we'll look at booking something for either Christmas or New Year's Eve that year, and just have to sort of figure it out because we're doing off years, alternating years now between. So on Thanksgiving, one year we go to Sam's family, and one year we usually take a cruise.
Mhm.
And then for Alani, we own Christmas week, but we've decided it's really nice to like bank 1 week forward and then do 2 weeks in Hawaii around the holidays so that we can sort of like just maximize our time in the warmth and the
Easy,
sun.
yep.
So yeah, I'm assuming we will book something at Christmas, and then it's just a question of whether we're just booking like a cruise or we're gonna like go to Disney for around the holidays and then hop on a cruise. But yeah, we're waiting for November, December 2026, which at this point I guess is another 3, 4, 5, 6 months off. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But
What did
definitely-
you book, CT? Did you
Yeah.
book anything today?
So I'll book tomorrow because
Tomorrow,
of my status. We are going to book. We're booking June 11th. On the Rhine from Switzerland to Amsterdam.
Oh, so
Amazing.
you'll be there
birthday
right
will be
after us. Yeah.
Yep, Kelsey's birthday will be the second day we're on the boat, so the girls
Actually-
are turning for that.
We
And then,
disembark in Amsterdam.
yeah,
on the
so there
day
may
that
be
you're
a way
there.
to catch up. Yeah, there may be anyway. So,
Yeah.
and then we are looking at I'm looking at 4 or 5 days in Switzerland beforehand.
Nice.
There's a Glacier Express that is a train that goes around the mountains there.
Oh, cool.
All glass ceiling train with some tablets to give you like some augmented reality virtual data of the mountains and the areas as you pass them, and then they feed you twice on the train
Oh,
for the trip
cool.
for the day. So I'm looking into that. I'm looking into a few other things, but it does so but I don't know what I'm telling her yet. So I'm making moves and talking to my travel agent and getting everything lined up. So
Just convince her you booked like a 5-night out of Galveston, and then
yeah. The problem is at some point it's going to pop up in her Delta app.
Yeah.
That's the tricky part of hiding a whole trip.
Yeah.
So, but I'll figure it out.
see, it's easy because Sam doesn't check her travel app. She just relies on me to tell her. Well,
Well,
I
my wife is
do.
a travel princess. There's times where she just shows up and it's the
I
magic
check-
porthole that gets her there.
I check my TripIt. We have all of our stuff is tracked in TripIt, and I check our TripIt all the time to
I can mark
see
a trip
what
private.
he has. Yeah, but I check it to see what he's booked, and like because sometimes we have like the cruise booked, but we don't have the flights booked yet, right? So when it's usually because I'm arranging for our house sitter / dog sitter. That's what I'm looking like. When do we leave? When do we come back? So I kind of have to know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, CT, as always, been
Yes.
fantastic, man.
Always
Catching up.
fun.
Yeah.
And now that I
No,
know
it's
that you're
always
going to be
fun.
on Amsterdam in Amsterdam on the 11th, Tracy's going to be there too. Like we are going to find a way to at least say hello to you. And grab
Well, wait, the
coffee.
11th of June? No, the
11th of
June.
July. Oh,
No,
you're
I'm the 11th of June. I'm before.
Oh, you're the month before.
We'll
That's
figure
right.
it out.
Yeah.
I'm also looking at so I'm also planning a trip for my doesn't need for everybody else, but I'm gonna take my mom to Washington and Oregon. She wants to go to Washington and Oregon like I took her to New England last year.
So you're
So,
gonna come see us.
Sometime in May of 26, and I will let you know.
Perfect. We'll
when
be
that
here.
is, and we'll
We'll
we
be
will
here.
we will
I
block the
promise.
entire month, man.
Yeah.
Because it would be
We're not going
figure it out.
anywhere.
We'll
We're
take
gonna
you
be
to
here.
we'll take you to a nice dinner in town, you and your mom. So
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Well, CT, thank you for sharing this. You've shared some fabulous stories, some very personal stories, which
I
always
appreciate
the
it.
best. Always
Yeah,
the
I
best.
appreciate
And
it.
So we love having you on. Can't wait to have you back. It sounds like in a few weeks here, and to talk about your trip report. And just thank you for sharing with our audience. We always appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me. And guys, seriously, like a lot of these ideas come from listening to the great content you guys have been putting together for 500 plus episodes now. So thank you guys so much. And thanks for giving me a spot. Like, to be honest, like I'm loving just hanging out in the Substack and the folks that are commenting there. Get over to the Substack because we're going to start the Tinfoil Mouseketeer Club is going to be coming from the
gonna be
Substack
growing,
more often
right?
than
Yeah.
more often than anywhere else. So comment on an article there. That's how you get picked up for talking to, or being a guest in a future piece about prognostication coming to Disney.
Love it.
Nice. All right. And for all of you out there watching, just as a reminder, are we back next week?
We
or
are
is it-
not back next
We're
week
not.
because it is President's Day. We were
That's
supposed to be
right.
away. We're
That's
not
right.
going to be away, but we're still taking the Monday off.
I mean, I'm still hoping Disney will send me the president of the cruise line and we can have a President's Day episode. No, that's not going to happen. So we will be back 2 weeks from today. So what is that? The 24th of February, we will be back, and we will be back with a vengeance because we are going to have a cast member on, Danny, an Adventures
Can't
by
wait for
Disney
that one.
guide. I cannot wait to catch up with him about all the happenings with him and to just, he's got great stories. He's got great enthusiasm for Disney. He's got great enthusiasm for Adventures by Disney. So can't wait to chat with him and catch up with him.
He's
So
super fun.
stay tuned for that.
Perfect timing with the upcoming trips and the
Oh, I'm hoping to get Danny to bid on our cruise. So like, if he can finagle his schedule, like I want
Yeah.
Danny back on board with us
As
because
one of our guides.
he
He's
was
fantastic.
so fabulous with Nathan and just a great adventure guide. So can't wait to have him back. So February 24th, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We will see you then. For now, we will just say good night and we'll see you
And
real
like and
soon.
subscribe.